Today we're going to be taking a look at Game 2 of the Starletter I-League North American Playoffs, Archon versus Elite Wolves. In the first game, spoiler alert, we ended up seeing Archon completely and totally decimate Elite Wolves, and what ended up happening was they mainly did it off the back of a first-pick Alchemist. Surprise, surprise, we're seeing something similar here as Archon end up picking that one up. Slardar and Shadow Fiend, as well as Tusk and Doom, are going to be the bans out. MotPax, what are you expecting to see this game? Are you thinking that Archon in a position where they can sort of make this continue to be a pretty dominant performance here?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. A little bit interesting. So typically, when you want to go for something like this first pick Alchemist or anything like that, Slardar definitely number one priority. I would actually consider it more of a priority than the Ancient Apparition as they've shown here, simply because Slardar is so good against Alchemist. You get the minus armor on top of him, you get the lots of lockdown using the Slithering Crush and the bashes. Make sure he can't get off that ultimate. Surprise him from the fog. Basically in all kinds of ways he helps counter up against the Alchemist. But then, rather than going in towards something like the AA ban, since they are going to be first pick and everything like that, they do ban out the Tusk, simply because I think you don't really want to get Tusk paired up with another high quality hero on the side of E-Wolves, and I think they're trying to force them to take this AA pick early, but in response, the E-Wolves actually do answer back with the Bane. So that means now, unless they want to open up with both Bane AA right now, the chances are Archon's actually going to be able to ban out the AA this time. And frankly, it didn't do that much work for E-Wolves last game anyway, so they might be a little bit hesitant to pick it up this time. Looks like they'll take the other blue support and the Winter Wyvern.
Very interesting. Based upon this, I'm wondering if we're going to be seeing Elite Wolves maybe go for some other type of very late game split pushy strategy, because that seemed to be what ended up working best for them in the last game, was when they were able to try and push out the lanes a little bit and then try and find pickoffs from time to time. It really wasn't working when they were trying to group up and fight. The team fights did not at all go the way that they wanted to. And to me, these two supports here seem very, very strong at being able to have the split push when you have the Winter Wyvern, and then likewise find that pickoff with the Bane, Nightmare, and Fiend script. So maybe that's going to be something that we end up seeing in something potentially like an anti-mage, or one of those other most diabolical, terrible heroes to play against that we end up seeing.
Yeah, and I also like it because we saw Moo just running around the map, causing complete and utter chaos. And Winter Wyvern and Bane, the two of them are much better in terms of dealing with the aggression. Like, you had the Bane before, but like being shown off by Whitebeard there, and we already saw kind of how he was used aggressively simply because they were leading so much. But Eagles will definitely be able to use some TPs from Wyvern and the Bane, help keep their heroes alive from this rampaging rather Alchemist there, and they'll go with the Undying next. So one good thing about that is that Undying, he's always fallen off in those later games, but if you can throw the Agnum Scepter on top of him, he still does relatively well.
Yeah, definitely. That's something that's going to be interesting to see. And I'm wondering now if out of Archon we might be seeing that Morphling play that we saw Vici Gaming do for a while there, where you end up running the offlane Morphling, you end up getting an Aghanim Scepter at some point in time, and then you can throw down the double Tombstone of Devastation, which is just oh so fun to watch and cast. So that's what I'm really rooting for here, and I would love to be able to see that. For Elite Wolves, I really don't think that now they can try and go on into a big 5-man push lineup. I think that their real only option here is going to be split pushing. Now, of course, if they wanted to, they can go for that kind of group up and fight mentality, but I really don't think it's going to work well because they don't have, at the very beginning, the best supports to be able to deal with the Tombstone. Both Winter Wyvern and Bane's range is really, really limited unless you're using that Arctic Burn for Winter Wyvern. But if you're using Arctic Burn on Winter Wyvern, I feel like to kill a Tombstone, I feel like you're kind of doing it wrong. So I don't know. We'll see. Juggernaut is going to be the other pick. I'm a little bit concerned for Elite Wolves draft already.
Yeah, it's I don't know. The thing about Archon is that we don't really know what direction they are going to go. Like, we talk about how they could throw the Agnum Scepter on this guy, but they still have it open even with this Earthshaker pick. Like, do we want to go back towards that Radiance pick? Like, do we want to go towards something where I am going to be handing out the Agnum Scepters, or are we just going to run at them? Like, are we going to pick up a Pugna next or something? Just throw it with our Undying? And I'm leaning towards the run at them draft, and I agree with you. It is going to be a little bit hard for them to deal with it. They will have the Templar Assassin. That can be very nice for a lot of reasons up against Archon, and then they go back for the PL. So a little bit mid-game oriented, but what the TA is going to do is that she does provide a lot of vision that they are lacking, and especially in the Roshan pit, because this early medallion, you get it when you're going Radiance build, you can do it whenever you want. It is really important in how Alchemist likes to snowball his entire team, and we saw that, like, propel them right into that mid game. And so helping to keep an eye on Roshan can be a really big part of that for E-Wolves.
Yeah, certainly. It's going to be, I think, an important part in this game is how both teams deal with and effectively deal with Roshan. And while I do love, Templar Assassin Dire Side, great, wonderful. Against a PL, that's something that's scary to me. I think that's a great pick that Archon end up going for next. Particularly because there isn't a lot of catch right now. You've got Winter Wyvern that has slows, you got Juggernaut that's got Omni Slash, you've got Templar Assassin that's going to be able to burst somebody apart if you do end up finding them. But the problem is, how are you going to be able to determine which one's the real PL when he's doppelganging around it? Because if you jump on the wrong one, if you Nightmare the wrong one, if you Fiend's Grip the wrong one, all of a sudden you're in a situation where your TA doesn't know who to deal with, and then she gets jumped on. All it takes is like a quarter of a second for about 3 or 4 PL illusions to start proccing, and then your game starts to really go down the tube. So it's gonna be a very interesting draft, and I think that axe ban makes a ton of sense as well. You want to just take him out of the pool. That's how you really determine, of course, the real PL. I feel like is once the spinning starts going. But I don't know. What do you think is the answer here for Elite Wolves next, or Archon?
I don't know. That axe is like, I don't even know where they would lane that, and it looks like they'll go back for that. That's kind of a little bit of a classic in terms of a lot of South American teams. We've seen it from like Knot and the boys before. We'll go back for that Nature's Prophet. And I mean, you talked about how they had a good time with the split push before, so Juggernaut pretty good at that as well, right? Like, there's nothing that's going to cancel this BKB unless you get a basher or something, or well, rather the spin, like spin TP from the Juggernaut, so they can kind of make their space on the side lanes, go for something like that Manta early on, and try and split push it out. And speaking of split push, it looks like they'll be keeping an eye on him with Fluff on that Bounty Hunter. Somebody's making a little bit of a comeback lately,
Yeah, he has. I kind of like the way that he's been being played recently, and there have been times where he's even been able to do a good amount of damage, but of course being played in that utility role, it's just a very versatile hero. And of course, if you're able to deny out an early bottle to the mid laner by sniping that courier, you can pretty much just win the lane to a large extent, particularly against an alchemist. So they're going to need to be careful with that. I'm very curious to see this Van Nature's Prophet. I don't think I've ever seen him play this hero. Of course, he did end up recently switching on over to, as we were talking about with IWO being here, a little bit more of a different role than he was playing before. Again, I'm very sorry to anybody in-game thing. I can't figure out a way to make this work in terms of my in-game audio. It looks like my microphone for some reason has been muted in Dota 2, and I feel like this is a new reborn thing that just ended up coming up because I literally was streaming just the other day when it was working. But regardless, we're going to try and continue on here. For Archon, we're going to have Nunkies Forever again taking that Earthshaker. We're going to be seeing Moo on the Alchemist moving over towards that mid lane yet again. Jo is going to be playing on the Phantom Lancer, Fluff and Stuff on the pesky Bounty Hunter, and last but not least, Whitebeard on that Undying.
And it'll be M-God over here for Ewolves throwing down a ward, and then Van going to be on the Nature's Prophet. It'll be Iwo there on the Juggernaut. Smash heading to the mid, AK MMR. I just feel like saying that every time right now on the TA. And then Masoku going to be on the Winter Wyvern. So I feel like once you've reached 8K, that is definitely something you've earned. Like you should at least try and throw it on the cast as much as you can, especially because he was probably grinding it out there. Like, he's a deal with US East first off.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, no, I totally. And you know what? I think that while we say it a bunch, he probably says it more than we do. Maybe not. I don't know. Never know. It does look like there's going to be a little bit of an engagement for this bounty rune, but I think that the lineup here for Archon is significantly better for dealing with the early bounty rune initiations. Monkeys Forever a little bit separated from the rest of the herd. The Fissure does end up coming down, but it looks like he's going to go down to the spin. One more kill. That's first blood going the way of Juggernaut. Definitely a better start this time around for Elite Wolves, and we'll see if the laning stage is going to continue that trend, as we do have M-God sitting in the mid lane. Going to try and help on out his TA here.
Yeah, we got this tri-lane.
What is going on?
Everyone's trying to figure out where they want to go. The 5 melee lineup here from Archon. Definitely not something you see very often. Speaking of which, we have seen it a little bit more often simply because of like Tusk Undying and stuff like that was run a couple times in the majors. And if you couldn't get your hands on a Dazzler, Winter Wyvern, who even needs ranged heroes, honestly? Let's go.
Most definitely. Yeah, it seems like it's the way to go. And despite the fact that, actually Smash hasn't gotten a CS yet, so this is definitely working out here. The other thing to keep in mind is that if Whitebeard does end up getting a level in Soul Rip next, that is multiple instances of damage. So you're going to end up being able to burn through those refraction charges very swiftly. Definitely need to be careful there. Monkeys Forever trying to get whatever he can up in this top pull lane as well. Didn't end up blocking anything off, but just keeping one Observer Ward over here for a little bit of vision, making sure that everything is all hunky-dory as Suku does look to be trying to get a little bit of a pull out here. I'm not exactly sure what he's going for at this point. Oh, he's trying to pull the creep wave from over there. It's kind of a neat little trick, but not going to be able to get it.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's Smash. It's so comical just watching. Obviously it'll affect the experience in terms of Boo, but they've zoned out Smash enough that he's actually still tied at the same point as them. So I don't know, going fairly well there. And the bottom lane, Fluff, he's kind of keeping an eye on Van, seeing what they're up to, but it is giving Jo a chance to farm. He doesn't have the Quelling Blade though, and it can be a little rough with PL simply because his right clicks are so unreliable underneath the tower, and Monkeys will get spun on up top. It's slowed down there as well, and it will drop under the tower.
Yeah, he was just standing there for a second, eating the right clicks. I'm not sure if that was a server thing going on, or what exactly it was. We did end up seeing a very, very low Whitebeard at this point in time. It needs to get a little bit of a recharge from the Alchemist bottle, but that was mainly by virtue of the fact that Smash had to run all the way back to lane. So Undyne picking on up and bottling the regen rune. He's going to walk back over here, give that off to Moo, and unfortunately no bounty rune this time around, as Moo is going to have to be content without getting one. I'm kind of curious where this next stage in the laning is going to end up going, because the Bane Nature's Prophet is one that I feel like shouldn't be able to be as effective against this PL as it's been. Maybe you end up seeing somebody else from Radiant roam on in here and trying to help him out, because so far, if you take a look, like in terms of the last hits and eyes, he's definitely behind the Juggernaut, 9-1 versus the 13-6. Oh, Smash mid lane. It might actually go down here. A couple more right clicks. I think Moo might want to go for this one. Oh, the meld. Maybe a turnaround is going to be able to do a good amount of damage, but not quite going to be able to find it as Fluff and Stuff finishes off that TA, and unfortunately, Moo just walks away, happy as a clam to be able to pick up that kill. Oh, that's really unfortunate. He definitely wanted to turn around, but it looked like he missed the meld strike.
Yeah, and so we've kind of got, like, Ewolves are, in a sense, sacking Smash. Like, there's no rotations to do anything. And then up in the top lane, you've kind of sacking poor Monkeys again. He's, 2 deaths already, 3 last hits. And I don't know. Last time, it kind of seemed like the burden was on Moo, right? Like he had to move around a lot, make some space, get some kills there for Monkeys. And man, Jo is just trying to trade up against MGod. And he's like, yo, I have Brain Sap. I don't know if you know about this hero.
That is ridiculous how much damage that does. At those early levels, 160 pure damage nuke. Fluff is going to try and trade a little bit of last hits here with him, and he's going to be a little bit careful. The Spirit Lance is coming out as well, but he does still have that Brain Sap if he wants to use it here in the second. Maybe in a second here, going to be able to use it. Fluff and Stuff dropping a little bit low. There's the Nightmare on top of him. This might be a quick kill if they're able to find it. One more right click isn't going to be enough. They do end up finding him now. MGod in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't have another Brain Sap for a little while. Is going to try and tangle away a little bit longer. No! Oh my goodness gracious. Jo dropping low. It looks like he might end up going down here. One more right click is going to be all that they need, and they're going to try and tango dodge away. Needs to find him, but Jo's going to go down. Nature's Prophet gets the kill, but Fluff and Stuff has come back in. Another Brain Sap. There's that mana regeneration you need, not able to body block. Meanwhile, we missed a kill up in the top lane as IWO was able to get another one, but enough time also in the mid lane. Undyne able to pick on off the Templar Assassin. What is going on in this game? A nice little swing here, but relatively even. Let's take a look at the net worth to see what the final result has been. It's very back and forth. Very, very back and forth. I don't know. Who do you think comes out on top there?
I don't even know, honestly. Everyone's just dying. I don't know. Maybe Archon, simply because they just kill Monkeys again. It's one of those kills, and I mean, really, what does he have to lose at this point? Like, there's phase boots out on Io, so it's just like instant kill. But yeah. We'll be going back towards the medallion, and that still doesn't determine completely what he's gonna go for. But when you're up against a TA, like, if you want to get this early blink and solar crest and everything, that's so good against her. Like, you're gonna be giving her the shine, so she'll be missing out on her right clicks. You're gonna be taking away the refraction charges with the acid spray. You want to be involved in every fight that she is. So I'm fully expecting to see the train go again, and it looks like MGod's gonna get moved here.
One more right click. One more! Enough. Not quite there. Soul Rip turnaround. Oh, MGod. It wasn't meant to be. That definitely could have been a kill if he would have waited a little bit longer. Looks like that's going to be a stun down on top of himself. Trading away the Nightmare. Smash coming on in now. It looks like they're going to try and turn this one back around. Refraction charge. One meld strike is going to come out on top of Moo, but that regeneration is just so strong. MGod trying to go over to deny himself if at all possible. Van needs to toss him out the Sprout. Does end up finding him there, but is just going to be able to eat his way through it, as we did end up seeing Undyne take on out MGod and then turn around, bottle up the regen or the double damage. Can they find double Smash here? No, not going to be able to do it. You know, Even though that was another Bane kill there, I'm looking at these net worths right now. PL is 1,400. Like, he is the fourth lowest in the game right now. And if you compare that to where the Juggernaut is, I really am kind of concerned for Archon in this game and their ability to scale well into the late game. Juggernaut's going for this Battle Fury build. He's going to be able to farm pretty late here.
Yeah, a lot of this has to do with the whole 5 melee lineup. Like, Fluff was down here bot a little bit, but when you're using the Bounty Hunter, a lot of that's, like, usually he's harassing the mid lane. That's what makes him so powerful, right?
Yeah.
But in this lane, we have an Undying sitting here the whole time instead. So Fluff's relegated to this supporting the safe lane versus a Bane and a ranged hero in the Nature's Prophet. So it's very difficult for him to get a lot of harass and trade properly against something like that. And he can't zone anyone out, and there will be TP in from Van up top. Onto Monkeys again, having a really rough go over this game.
Omni Slash, there it is. That's going to be enough to finish him off. Fluff and Stuff is in the area as well. Need to be careful. He's going to try and run around, maybe going to be able to find this kill. It's such a dangerous one. He does have not enough mana for the Shuriken, actually, so he's going to try and stalk him a little bit. 8 more mana, a little bit more. Can he find it? Oh, but then the spin TP. He's not going to be able to get the kill. Oh, Fluff and Stuff. It was so close. That was really unfortunate that ended up working out that way. If he would have waited a second longer, he might have been able to find the kill, but at the same token, Juggernaut's movement speed, 355 versus the, what is he currently at, 405? He might have been able to find that kill. I'm not sure about that, but it was close.
Yeah, and this has actually opened up a lot of space, at least for Jayo. You know, he's starting to claw his way back, about 700 more in terms of net worth compared to the last time we checked up on him here. And I don't know, I'm kind of excited because PL, he fell off a little bit, right? And I want to know what Jayo's going to do this game. Like, you're in this position where you really don't want to be on PL. Like, he's kind of someone who relies on quite a bit of early on farm. If he wants to contribute to these early on fights, he might need something like a bottle. And speaking of early on fights, it looks like Moo will get nightmared up here in the mid. Iowa coming back in. Doesn't have the Omni Slash this time, though, so Whitebeard throws down the Tombstone, but I don't think it's going to be enough, even with the Soul Rip. And now he just gets sprouted up, so they'll come on in, and Whitebeard tries to sacrifice himself for the good of Moo, but he will in fact just die as well. Yeah, leaving Fluff all alone up here. Doesn't even have track to keep an eye on them. He could secure that bounty run though.
Not often you see 5 heroes mid at around the 8-minute mark, but it was what ended up happening there. We are going to have a little bit of a fight down here. Looks like we're going to have IWO wanting to help out and fight against Jayo, but doesn't have the Omni Slash as of yet, and probably just would have gotten doppelgangered on if it did end up going down that way. But like you said, a couple quick kills. The other thing here is this definitely helps out the TA. Like, the thing about her is
we have a Dagon!
What did I miss?
We have a Dagon on Prophet, let's go!
Oh my god. Okay.
We got Dota too, he's coming in on top of Monkeys right now.
Oh jeez, this is ridiculous.
Yes.
Alright, can they actually find him and kill him? Do they have any way to break it? Not enough damage there, so unfortunately the Dagon reveal is not going to be able to secure a kill as of yet. What do you think about this build?
Look, they're snowballing. Jayo has nothing. Like, let's just go. Let's group up. We want to fight. Prophet wants to be useful. Who needs these, you know, normal items like a Necro Book or any of this nonsense? Like, just get a Dagon, burst down that Alchemist before he can pop off his ultimate. Undying's still relatively squishy, 800 HP. You got a Bounty Hunter who's, what, level 5? He's sitting at 600. Monkeys, I don't even know. They're probably sitting over there on Dire like, wait, they have an Earthshaker? Like, he's sitting at 830?
Huh.
Van's a player. Like, this guy's, he wants to fight.
Very interesting there. Moo ends up being able to secure out the Ancient stack with Undying, giving his life for it after dropping on down the Tombstone, the Acid Sprays. So, nice little infusion of gold. This is going to be a Solar Crest for him. I did not know what was going on, and all of a sudden I saw that Undying ended up denying himself to neutrals, so that's cool. But yeah, I'm curious how this Dagon build is going to end up working out. It's definitely unconventional, definitely something that we haven't seen all that often. But then again, we've been seeing sort of a myriad of Nature's Prophets builds that have just been going kind of all over the place. You think about the the Ags Refresher Octarine Core Nature's Prophet that's just absolutely terrifying and terrible to play against. That's the only way I build Nature's Prophet now, which is why my teammates hate me whenever I play ranked. But, it's just one of those things.
Is that the only reason?
Yeah, probably definitely the only reason. Battle Fury getting close to completed on the Juggernaut as well. Several heroes roaming on up towards this top lane. Oh, there's going to be the Omni down on top of Monkeys and not even able to get off the Enchant Totem. Just quick devastation as IWO is going down. But he's actually blocked on in! Huge plays there. Look at the Tria Protector. God, what are you doing, buddy? You got to let him out. And now there's so many zombies everywhere. Moo ends up stunning himself, and a little bit of griefing on his team ends up going down as thankfully IWO gets out of there.
still not over this Dagon. I want to see him come back in. Like, let's go, Van.
It hasn't quite worked out for him as of yet, but that doesn't mean it's not going to. It's just mean it hasn't as of yet. Brain Sap down on top of Jo. Smashing a little bit of trouble. Several little illusions coming out on top of them. They do have another Phantom Lance coming out. No, not going to be able to connect there. M got in a lot of trouble now as the whole rest of the Radiant is here. Is he actually going to be able to get out of here? Oh, the Nightmare, but he ends up committing the Echo Slam there to finish him off, as M God is going to end up going down. But still, having to commit that's a pretty good play. IWO in a little bit of trouble up in the top lane. They do end up getting the Sprout down on top of Fluff and stuff. He does have a Dagon if he wants to use it. Where's the Dagon? Give me the Dagon. Isn't going to be able to quite get it. Trying to turn around onto Moo. Can he actually burst him down? There's a kill on the Bounty Hunter. Exactly what you want to have happen. And Moo just runs away, scared as all can be. You have a rotation coming in from the Winter Wyvern as well. What is going on in this
Smash
game?
is going to find monkeys at the bottom rune. TA Trap will slow him down, but JO's come in. The refractions are being burned off, and Smash is going to TP monkeys. He's trying to get in range. I can't get it. He got a little bit too scared that time, so Smash does fake it out.
MotPax, I don't know what's going on.
I don't
in this
know.
game.
It's good. Like, Evo saw that last game where Moo was just diving around all over the map and like, oh, that looks like fun. We should have done that. Like, let's try that.
Yeah, definitely. I've been trying to keep up.
Here we are.
Graphs right now, we're taking a look at about an even.
Oh,
we're
Moo
gonna end up
top
getting a
lane.
kill.
Oh, that was like all of his HP.
Yeah,
Moo
that
didn't
was a
even have
full
much.
duration stun. Everything laid out against it.
He didn't even have the acid thrown down for the extra minus armor.
Yeah.
That could have been even more devastating looking, but not really much you could do. He probably could have won his curse if he wanted to live, but not really worth it in this case. And
Yeah.
they'll have the Roshan. In fact, it's actually so early on that he can respawn in time to fight here if Archon are going to contest, but it looks like this one will be free.
I think that they're going to be able to take this one. It doesn't seem like anybody knows what's going on at this point. And probably considering all of the fighting that's been going on, yeah, there comes the pings, and I think that they realize now what's going on, but Roche is already going to fall. TA ends up picking it up. It's worth noting that at this point, she's definitely a little bit behind what you would expect for most TAs to have, just because not only did she get shut down in lane, but for the first, I want to say, like 10 minutes or so, that ancient stack was blocked out for him. Another 5 heroes roaming on mid, except for the TA, actually. So 4 heroes roaming on mid as they wanted to try and find a Juggernaut pick, but aren't going to be able to get it done. As IWO ends up spinning away. A little bit concerned about it. But let's talk about net worth again. Looks like Archon a little bit ahead, 1,500. Experience, about 1,500 as well. Items, that's really kind of one of the key stories to see how the rest of this game is going to play out. So Bounty Hunter has a headdress. We do also have a Bassi on him. Undying, not a whole heck of a lot. Solar Crest and Blink on the Alchemist as they look for another kill up top here. Dagon on the Nature's Prophet, and Juggernaut with the Battle Fury. What are the next couple of items that you feel like these heroes are going to need? Do you think survivability with something like a mechanism? What are your thoughts?
Well, for Fluff, he is going to head towards the Vlads this game. It's a little unusual. Usually it's like the Mech Greaves or something. So he's going to go on M-God here. There's no time to talk about items builds. It looks like Moo's going to be blinking in here. He's going to have the concoction ready. Going to get away those trees. So clear sight lines for Moo. And again, not using the acid spray. I guess just figuring he doesn't need it. But either way, these, like we talk about how there's going to be a lot of skirmishes and both teams have itemized for fighting. Like they are going to fight. Jo, not so much. You know, he's pushing lanes. But the other 9 heroes in the game are. And that is where track will come into play, right? And that is going to affect... it's going to be great for Archon. But they have to, of course, win the fights. And if they actually have to face the full 5 man of E-Wolves, it could be a little bit rough there. And that dust comes out. I guess he was trying to find a Bounty Hunter. They will find him with the Winter's Curse. Oh, the Omni Slash is ready and willing. Moo, get the ultimate off. It's going to be close, but Io continues on top. Does not get sent over to Whitebeard there. So comes spinning around inside and smashes there. He's got the refractions as well. If he wants to slow him down, they're going to dive this. Whitebeard goes down. Now Jo in a little bit of trouble, but they won't keep going.
Oh my god, yeah, they're going to stop it off now and just go and try and take on down this tower. Jayo's still in the area. They need to be a little bit careful here, because if they step too far forward, there's definitely still the chance that you can catch them. There's a lot of damage that comes out very quickly. The Nightmare is on top of the PL, but looking off to the side as well, they don't end up finding anybody over in the Sprout area, and they're just going to be able to take this other tower here. This is the point where you would love to be able to have that Ancient Apparition, just because of that sort of counter-push potential. And right now, they don't really have anything besides the Fissure that comes out from the Earthshaker, and a quick Tier 2 tower going down. This is the part where Elite will start to take over the game a little bit.
Yeah, and it kind of comes back to a little bit of this vision thing. Really, Moo? I don't think they're going to find this.
They're going to be able to catch Smash. A lot of damage coming out very quickly. He has the Nightmare on top of him. That ends up being taken away. The Shuriken coming out. There's the Aegis popped. Now it looks like they might want to try and fight this one potentially. Need to be a little bit careful. Tombstone is going down. They do end up having the vision now, and Smash eviscerated as we do end up seeing the last hit go to the Alchemist. One more little bit of Greevil's Greed going his way, and is getting all the last hits on these Ancients as well. So a little bit of a comeback there. Able to take on down the TA. Very important.
Yeah, that's huge. The initiation range of moves is actually massive when you look at the range of you can actually throw the concoction, I suppose, and combine with the blink dagger. So able to chase down Smash, and again, that does come because of the vision that has been provided here by Fluff, like being able to throw up all these tracks, like keep an eye on everybody. Not quite as good as it used to be, but still gets the job done in a lot of ways. And I wonder what's Van gonna go for now. He's going the Oxarine. Oh man. All right, well, see you guys in like an hour. Just gonna take a break. We'll come catch the game then.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see how this goes. I mean, that being said, he doesn't have the Aghanim Scepter, so that's something to consider as well, as we do have another little initiation over here. Whitebeard is in the area. They're going to end up getting the stun on down. This is going to be a dead Winter Wyvern in just a second or two here, as IWO does end up spinning away. So Archon making a couple quick comebacks here. I mean, the other thing to keep in mind is that Alchemist is still the top of the net worth. Despite the fact that you do have this pretty big advantage in going Elite Wolves' way, Archon is going to, as you mentioned, when the skirmishes happen, come out on top of them as long as they're at least somewhat even. And then the other thing to keep in mind here is if they are able to get out to any type of lead, they can scale significantly better than Elite Wolves just because there's always the option to pick on up those Aghanim Scepter, even just for stats on these heroes later. I mean, way later.
This is definitely a good trade here for the E-Wolves, at least. It will force Mu to come back, but they don't get all the damage. Oh, that Omni Touch is on 10, and it's all on Mu! He doesn't get swapped over to Whitebeard whatsoever. That's huge. So Jo comes in, he'll get Nightmared up. I don't think they want to continue this. Fluff rotating in. Let's just get out, boys. We got what we came for. Maybe sacrifice M-God.
It looks like IWO wants to come and help him out a little bit. He is still in the area with the Blink Dagger as well as the Battle Fury, and potentially can fight this. It looks like they're just leaving M-Gods alone a little bit. There's the jump forward. Winter's Curse down on top of Whitebeard. He's going to end up falling. There's the spin, following it up. Monkey's Forever getting chased on down now as well. Archon maybe a little bit overextended at this point, and unfortunately doesn't quite time out that Enchant Totem perfectly, and will end up getting taken out in the end. The Blink forward, this Juggernaut. This is the build, apparently. Everybody's been doing it now, and fight recap, we're taking a look at it. 2,000 gold swing as well as right around 2,800. They are doing what they want to do.
Yeah, and really good prioritization there on the side of E-Wolves. Going the Winter's Curse on top of the Undying, because it's unlikely you're going to be able to bring down Jo. And if you don't bring down Jo in that instance, then you're going to get the Tombstone out and the Soul Rip and everything like that. So the low risk play is definitely just take it down the Undying, get yourself a kill, and back out. And now, I don't know, with the Battle Fury, I would expect him to go for something like probably the Manta style. Keep split pushing these lanes, get the illusions going, create a lot of space here. But I don't know if, like, you've got this Nature's Prophet. Like, what happens when you start to go high ground is there will be a Blink Dagger from Monkeys. He's got it here, and he'll probably have the Force Staff by the time that they get there. So it is a little bit, I don't know, like, risky allowing this to go later. Like, Mu has definitely itemized early. Like, he did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But going into the later phases of the game, I don't know. I guess maybe you think that E-Wolves probably still has the stronger lineup.
Yeah, I'm always a little bit concerned about PL late game, though. Like, it's sort of one of those things where when we talk about late game, we're sort of talking about the difference between, like, mid-late game versus late game. You know what I'm talking about there?
Like, and 45 plus.
Exactly. So yeah. I think that probably there's going to be a moment coming up pretty soon where Elite Wolves is going to have a stronger power curve, and Archon need to sort of survive through that if they want to be able to win it. Although I do think that they're still maybe a little bit stronger right now. Oh, Fluff and stuff in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't get found out there. They're going to be able to get the Fiend's Grip, but the Winter's Curse down on top of them. Echo Slam on the back. That's going to be a kill on top of Bane. A couple of quick kills go in the way of Alchemist. Now IWO going down as well. Everybody's falling for Elite Wolves, and oh man, we talked about it, but it didn't look like Elite Wolves were quite in the moment where they were ahead. There, jumping forward, is going to be able to get the stun down on top of Smash. He's in a lot of trouble now. We do have the jump on in. Fissure laid down as well. Are they going to be able to find this kill? Does try to go invis. I think that he's going to keep on burning here. He's just taking a ton of damage. No Blink Dagger, no nothing. He's going to end up going down. You're going to stand on top of him with the stun because why not? And he's going to get stunned on up there. Another one ends up getting leveled against him. This is the slowest death that I've ever seen in my life. Smash is so sad. Monkeys Forever. Can he beat my Pastor one more time? No, he goes down. Undying gets the last hit. Oh, no.
That was hard work and dedication right there. Get that kill there for the side of Archon. So, Yeah, you're right though. They were so close. Like they were at that point where they were going to pick up more items. Like it's only a Battle Fury on the jug. Like he's got the Yasha now. I think he picked that up out of his stash after dying. I believe. I don't think he had it on his person when they went down. The first reveal of the Diffusal Blade in terms of like an actual team fight with it, I think you kind of forget just how much work it's actually able to do, and he absolutely crushed them. So the Archon core will be done though, and the split push game is ready to roll. There will be a tracker on Masoku though, and I can only imagine he will go down unless he does some serious terrain maneuvers here.
I'm a little bit concerned about the Juggernaut though in terms of his actual ability to split push because Fissure is going to connect, and yeah, definitely is a dead Winter Wyvern. Just because when you think about the way that this ends up working out here, well, the split push is always good once you get that Ags and Octarine. He doesn't have the Agnum Scepter yet. He's still a good ways away from it, and if that's the route that he wants to go, you know, obviously you're going to be able to toss out more Wrath of Natures, but they don't do as much in terms of your split push game. Of course, still spawning Treants at a ridiculous rate is wonderful, as Alchemist ends up finding another kill on this Bane here over in the mid lane. Sorry I ended up missing that one. I was just pontificating about that Nature's Prophet for a while and ended up getting carried away. It looks like they're going to be going for Roshan here, but I don't know if he's going to be able to keep the lanes pushed out well enough against this lineup of Archons.
And I'll certainly get a decent trade here, at least, from Iwo, knowing that they are inside the pit, since they, you know, can't see them anywhere. They will send back Mr. Monkeys Forever, though, and it should be enough to at least stop any, you know, total damage here. Probably won't even look at the tower.
I think that they're going to be looking for this. There's going to be the initial start, and they just take him out.
The tower?
Oh, no. With Roshan going down at the same time, they were looking for it, and that instant initiation, like, I thought they were going to need to bring somebody in and time it perfectly, but it looks like they were just able to take it solo there. As we do end up seeing another fight over here to the side, that's going to be Jo, a little bit separate from the rest of the crowd. Dagon already committed. Does he get out of here? One more hit. Not going to be able to get it, as we do just see the PL get out at the last second. Oh, man. That is disheartening. Although we did see the Undying go down, so that's a little bit of a nice little part of this in terms of Elite Wolves going forward.
Yeah, and again, Moo will head right towards that Assault Cuirass, and once again, they're also going to have a support with the Lotus Orb, probably coming out next year for Fluff. He's got the Perseverance. I'm not sure if he's picked up anything else for it. Yeah, he has. He's got the Plate Mail and the Courier, so nearly done, and it's really good, this game. I mean, what do you? Everything that Bane has, obviously, it's very effective against that, and it's not like a Lincoln Sphere where you can like pop it, right? Like you're immune, not immune, but you're gonna reflect all single target spells for the full duration of your Lotus Orb. Right. So that's gonna be so good up against Omni Slash because it does start the counter slash. Like you can start going up against other stuff. It's gonna be able to immediately cancel the Fiend Script.
Yeah,
totally. It's a nice little time here for him.
I agree, certainly, and we'll see if it's going to be able to sort of come into play in this one. It should definitely, I would imagine. The AC finished on the Alchemist now. It does look like they're also going to be going for the Skull Basher next. So
yeah,
all up in
we
your
talked
face.
about how that was the only way they were going to cancel the anything from the Juggernaut. This will be the only thing they'll have to cancel, like the spin TP. So Moo's going to be doing a lot of these plays again, where he'll probably get Boots of Travel next. He's going to be moving around the map with the blink and everything, and being able to stop this split push from the Juggernaut. And it also helps, of course, for someone like the Nature's Prophet when he tries to TP out after you already used the concoction, because you have to use it to initiate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely the right pick here.
Does look like IWO is going to try and find one out here. Quick fingers there. Monkeys Forever. Almost wasn't even quite able to catch that one, but did jump away at that last second. Do end up getting a little bit of a potential for an initiation here as well. Smoke is on up. If they want to jump for this one, they can. IWO, sensing trouble, is going to have to back on out now at this point, considering all those Nature's Prophet treants were in the area. And the call comes out. They're going to cut creep waves and hoping to just keep them off of their towers for as long as possible. It does look like Archon is starting to get a little bit antsy and want to try and take this next fight if they possibly can. They're going to be looking on over here for the Juggernaut. Do end up spotting him. There's the Echo Slam that they need. Enchant Totem Fissure, and he ends up going down. Another quick kill there for Archon.
Man, Monkey's the comeback kid this game. Now 2 kills on top of Iowa after that start. Like, this is so much revenge after that poor laning phase. He had to deal with this Juggernaut. Yeah. Oh, did he get that off? I think he got that track off.
Ooh, Smash in a little bit of trouble now. They didn't end up breaking that TP, so now they can go for this one. Alchemist ends up taking out the Bane, and there's not going to be a TA in this fight here. She has gotten her TP scroll canceled and isn't going to be able to do anything. There's going to be the jump forward. They can't take down Masuko quite yet, but do have a lot of damage that can come out in just a second. There he is. He is going to end up going down. PL ends up taking out the Winter Wyvern, chasing on after him. Now the TA might be in a little bit of trouble as well. They do have the Nature's Prophet over here, and it looks like the TA is going to get out of there, but this is going to be a tower gone, and potentially, even if they wanted to, they can go for high ground.
The courier
does end up getting taken out, though, as well. That's Radiant's courier. 2,300 gold on him, but look at this. I mean, they're in their high ground. What are you going to do against this? They're in a terrible spot.
That was the full Lotus Orb, too. So sad.
Geez.
But yeah, Smash is at least probably going to get back here. Maybe eventually. He's actually still not back. I thought he was making a beeline home.
Oh, no.
So Smash is still not back. They're going to lose this tower. There's an Omni Slash here, but the army.
All right, there we go.
Oh, and the army's dead. Doesn't want to go for it.
Moo jumps away, goes for the zone. Nicely done there. Gonna go for a second one there as well. Looks like Moo might be in a little bit of trouble. No ulti for another couple of seconds. We do have the Omni Slash, as you mentioned, hasn't been committed yet. The Winter's Curse on top of Moo. He's getting healed back up, though. How is he so tanky? Is going to be able to get his ultimate in just another couple of seconds, under 100 HP, as he finally does fall, and everybody else from Archon trying to get out of there end up popping the smoke as well, so that way they don't end up getting spotted, and finally going to be able to get out. So another couple quick kills. What is that? Going to be 1,000 gold swing at the end, but they did end up... Well, did they take the tier 3 tower? They didn't. Tier 3 tower's still up.
Moo killed the courier and the healing ward instead. But yeah, they went a little deep there. Nice little smoke play though, kind of cute. You know, avoids the TP in globally from Van with that dag on the clean yap. And oh, mid again, they're gonna dunk on top of Io. The Nightmare cancels the Fisher damage, so Andy gets the Omni Slash off because of it. He's gonna be on top of Monkeys, but he will just get slammed down.
Oh.
And the will of the Fiend's grip there. So God looks like he's in trouble. No mana for a Shuriken though, and it means he will survive. Smash now coming in though. Making his way. He's gonna run. Go. So
I don't think he's gonna get there. Yeah.
You don't think?
Probably not. It was close. It wanted to happen. It was a good idea. It was a good thought. That's what they always used to say to me whenever I played sports. It's like, good thought there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you got those participation trophies and everything.
Oh, definitely. It was always great. Dota 2 players, very athletic. That's what we're going to say there, as the Alchemist ends up picking on up his Soul Basher. Archon currently 10k net worth up in terms of experience, sitting about the same. Big items, get a little bit of lag, no problem. Now give us a chance to collect our breath. Currently, it's 28 minutes into it. We're sitting at 43 kills. Like, this game has been going absolutely bonkers. So I'm in a pretty good spot right now to be taking a moment or two. So Bounty Hunter, Vladimir's offering, as well as the Perseverance, he's going to be able to pick on up that Lotus Orb as soon as that courier does respawn. Undying Ghost Scepter. I like this pickup a lot, being able to deal with Smash once he ends up getting on top of that Undying. He is also the lowest level on his team currently, at only level 11, but does mean that he has that level 2 Flesh Golem. Actually hasn't skilled that. He ended up going for more levels in Decay and Soul Rip, interestingly enough. Earthshaker, working towards probably an Octarine, I would imagine. That kind of seems to be the build for Earthshaker, right? After you go Blink Force.
It's definitely one of those items that we've seen people start picking up lately. So it's certainly possible. Some people I've seen go Aghanims. I know it's not like it only works on hero units, so I don't know. Like a lot of people tend to think like, oh, they have Nature's Prophet, and then so I'm gonna get more because he's gonna get an Aghanims eventually and everything. But you only get the bonus damage from it from heroes. So I know it's a little interesting. I love Octarine Core. It's very similar to how you put it on like the offlane Clockwork as well, because you're a player with really important skills. So that you want on like really low cooldowns. Obviously, it's not quite as good because you only have 3 actives and not 4. But I assume it will be the Octarine, yeah. And looks like he'll get the Bloodstone right now, the Soul Booster right now, rather.
A couple of gems picked up also. Winter Wyvern getting one, as well as the Bounty Hunter. And it does look to me like Nature's Prophet is working his way towards that Aghanim Scepter, only 400 gold away from Tree Simulator, or Lumberjack Simulator, or whatever it is. And the other thing to keep in mind now, Archon haven't gotten to a position where they're quite able to burst high ground yet. So no Rax is taken. This is still anybody's game, and if E-Wolves win this, it's going to be late, I think. Very, very late. We have a little bit of initiation here. Moo caught out from the rest of the squad. Do they end up finding this kill here? Haven't quite committed the Fiend's Root because it's still on cooldown. There's going to be
he's going back in.
Time for a little bit of a party. M-God is going to end up getting cleaved to death. 3 quick hits, and that's going to be another kill. And unfortunately, he is going to go down. Fissure not going to connect onto IWO. But it looks like the split push is going to be in full effect as Smash ends up pushing on out this top lane and haven't been able to find a kill yet, but a nice one there as they end up picking on off that Bane.
Man, Smash has nothing. He's sitting on 3,000 gold, but it looks like he's the same items as like about 12 minutes ago or something like that. Saving up a lot of money here. Probably BKB. I imagine, like, he just keeps getting bursted down here. Like, he gets stunned up by Moo. Of course, with the Basher now, that's not going to help all too much.
Yeah.
But overall control from the Earthshaker, it seems like it would be something that's going to be really important. And speaking of the Earthshaker, they're going to be able to spot out this Juggernaut here.
Oh.
Can we get... What is this going to be? It's going to be dunk number 4 on top of this Juggernaut? Number 4? Can we go?
Oh, my God. He is going to tear him apart yet again. That's another kill. And Monkeys Forever just making the plays. That's exactly what you need to do. And unfortunately... with that instant initiation, you just can't be in that far out on the lane. Juggernaut, you've mentioned it, IWO keeps on getting caught out here, and I'm not sure if this is a vision thing or what exactly it is, but you'd think with the Nature's Prophet, you'd be able to have pretty good vision. And I mean, let's take a look at it here. You see that there's nobody showing on the map, and you've also got great vision of their jungle. Mid lane, it does look like M-God is going to end up getting taken out so quickly. Just a quick little hit there, and he's going to go down. So this Nature's Prophet Aghanim Scepter, wonderful, but now you're losing a tier 2 tower. Looking at maybe, well, they cut the creep wave with the Ag Scepter, though. So they don't have another creep wave. This is all that they've got right now, which is nothing, actually. That's too bad.
They actually have 0 creep. Like, they can't go anywhere.
Oh, God, that sucks. All of the lanes are pushing in, so it begins. Oh, no. This is going to be very, very frustrating to watch, I am sure, at this point, for Team Elite or for Team Archon. Like, in terms of net worth, they're ahead 12k, but they can't actually push out right now. At all.
I just don't even know, man.
This is going to be really frustrating.
We've seen this a couple times. Like, we've seen the Moon Meander doing this. When he goes in his little build and does it. We've seen a couple, I believe Alliance did it a couple times too. It's ridiculous how much pressure you can put on. At least they don't have kind of that second hero. It's the Jug and the TA kind of combined to be almost like one. It's like half a Naga, honestly, or an Alchemist. They can do a little bit of work, but the spin only works when you can actually see the magic stun coming, and that has not been working up against Monkeys.
Well, time will tell what ends up happening here. We're certainly in for the long haul, as this looks to be maybe this is just the play here, is that, you feel like you might end up losing, but even if we end up losing, we're going to break their spirit before we lose. I still think the Elite Wolves are definitely a position where they can win, but this is a little bit of... I mean, I don't know. What do you think about this whole idea here of the Aghanim Scepter up on the Nature's Prophet? Do you think it's something that really does work, or is it more of the sort of like cheesy getting in the opponent's head build?
I don't even know. Like, you're up against an Alchemist, first of all, so he's getting so much gold if he's actually the one who can get these kills, and he does have the Boots of Travel now, so if he just wants to head into a lane, and he doesn't have any AoE clear besides the Acid, though, so it's a little bit hard for him to really capitalize on it, as we're actually going to see it right now. We'll see how much he can actually get. He can't get the stun off because they blocked him and canceled his blink. That was pretty great. So it's relatively hard for cleans up. It looks like there will be a fight there. They're going to Omnislash top of Monkeys, though, and now Whitebeard almost goes down, but he Ghost Scepter's last chance before the Desolator gets there. Dunk comes out from Monkeys, got the low start on top, protecting him. Moo has now entered the battle, got himself one kill, Smash B gave it up in the middle, but oh my god, he's tracked out, found out, and Van's down on the river. Come back up from the Aegis, Van's still stuck down there, we'll get Spirit Lance, and Smash looks like he has abandoned the fight, coming over to the other side of the river, and I think Van is just going to go down here. Tries to TP out, but hey, yo, Bash Lord still has the concoction if they need it, but that turned pretty quick. That looked kind of good, the opener Omni Slash. Oh, nice pings.
Well done. That's always good to see there. But again, you're looking at the situation where Van is back up in just a second, buys back, and is going to start pushing out the lanes. This is how they win this game at this point, is that basically they need to never fight, I think, honestly. I really don't think that they want to get into team fights. And if they just keep the lanes pushed out, keep Van alive, there's not going to be a situation where they're going to be able to push up high ground, because look at all of the lanes right now. I mean, you've got mid that's pushed out almost across the river. Bot is pushed out almost across the river. They have another Nature's Call which is coming out, which is going to create more of these treants in just a second or two. I mean, you have the Octarine core that's up on the Shaker, but look at these lanes. Like, Bot is about to actually push on into the barracks at this point. So tons of gold going, but I don't know. This is craziness.
It gets so frustrating because you've built this combat build, like for Moo and everything like that, on one of the heroes. Oh, he's actually building Aghanim Scepter for somebody. That's gotta be... I would imagine it could be the Earthshaker, probably. I mean, Undying's kind of good, honestly, but probably the Earthshaker. Or maybe himself, just for the stat. Actually, you know what? You give the PL the stats. There, that's the play.
Yeah? Alright, there we go.
It's the best one. I'm just saying it. But either way... you kind of have to play it like you get one creep wave. This is our creep wave. Like, there are many creep waves like it, but this creep wave is mine. And they'll get their auras, and they're just gonna have to march this creep wave into the base without Van killing it with like his ultimates. I think that's actually the play.
Yeah, I think that definitely has to be it, and it does look like they're going to try and do that a little bit. But of course, at the same time, that's going to be how many other lanes pushing in also. And with the Bane there, I mean, you always have to be careful about the Fiend's Grip into whatever for a kill. So I think at this point now, you kind of need to go into also a bit of a mode where maybe you start rethinking your item builds at this point. Alchemist is about to give away a 4,000 gold item. I almost would have thought about maybe him going back into something like a Radiance, or maybe being able to build that on somebody else. You need to build into Wave Clear right now. Obviously, you know, the Phantom Lancer right now can somewhat clear waves pretty quickly with the Manta style, creating his own illusions, but he probably needs to, I don't know, maybe sell off his treads and then get himself something else. Is there any other split pushy item that you really like on PL? Do we go back to the Radiance days of PL with Manta style illusions?
I'm okay with kind of how he's doing. I'd like to see, like, rather than a Radiance or something for Moo, simply because without the Manta it's not that great. I kind of imagine maybe going like a Mjolnir or something, getting rid of the S and Y. I think you keep the Solar Crest. Maybe get rid of the Solar Crest. Oh, looks like he's getting rid of something, and he's going to be giving the Aghanims right over to Whitebeard, so that's nice. But yeah, I'd like to see like a Mjolnir, just so he can guaranteed get the kills on the Treants, and they can't whittle themselves away from them.
Yeah.
And he's going to find out Smash up here.
Uh-oh. That's going to be a quick little kill here in just a second. Abyssal Bait committed, and Smash ends up falling. That was very quick. And that's what I'm talking about. They can't fight right now. They honestly can't. Monkeys Forever is moving on up to the top lane. They're going to end up being jump on top of that. Is going to be another dead IWO. He ends up continuing to go down there. And finally, they're going to be looking to maybe break through the backdoor protection. They don't have creeps as of yet in their base. They're all getting cut. The creep wave is all the way now down where the Radiant Tier 1 tower would be. And they just can't fight into this.
You know how we missed that fight because we were watching the bottom lane thing with Moo and the Treant, and then the fight by the Roshan pit? The cheese is still in the pit.
Oh. Huh.
There's a cheese just sitting in there. Thanks, Twitch chat. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yo, props to you guys.
Great.
Get that stuff out right there. That's actually so great. That rarely happens.
You know what? I'm not going to take responsibility for that. If the players don't realize it, I'm not realizing it either. That's what I'm going to say. And Alchemist is halfway to his second Aghanim Scepter that he's going to be building up here. 34 and 19 is the score. You take a look at Alchemist's net worth right now, it's right around 30,000. And if you consider the other 4,200 that got committed to another teammate, that's around 35,000 net worth. So he is higher than the next 4 Elite Wolves. Like, they are incredibly rich right now. And this is the downside to the Nature's Prophet thing, is that he's going to soak up all of the farm across the entire map at 20k right now and doesn't really leave a whole lot for the rest of his team. So if he ever gets picked off in this game, he's going to go down. And he does not have buyback for another 2.5 minutes at this point.
It's just so calm. I'm just like looking at the map and there's just Treants everywhere. He's got them all over bottom. He's got them in the mid lane. He's got a refresher in the stash because who needs it for anything other than ultimate, so he can just pump out more of these trees.
Jeez. Yeah, this is dumb.
They have a good wave top though.
Aghanim Scepter now given to the Earthshaker. All right, so they got the Ags up on the Earthshaker. They got the Ags up on the Undying. The thing to keep in mind,
their
though,
time.
Like, look at the other lanes, though. They're still pushing out. They have tons of Treants in the bottom and the mid lane, and they're going to have a couple of big creep waves. So they need to move quickly, because if they don't, they're going to end up going down here.
I think they're just going to leave the other lanes and just take this top and win the game. I think that's their hoping plan.
certainly is a possibility. Although if they start taking these barracks multiple ways, then I think that they can still kind of slow roll it a little bit. Looks like this tier 3 tower is just going to keep on sitting up a little bit. Lotus Orb was committed for at least a second or two. Whitebeard is walking around like a big old hunk of zombie, but actually he's crazy tanky right now. Okay. Don't worry. We're fine. Okay, M got a little bit upset about the status of this game. All right, so let's take a look at the situation. Look at the bottom lane. That's a lot of creeps. That is a lot of creeps. Oh, that is great. I like that. This is unplayable. All right, yeah, it's a little reversey. And it looks like they're going to be having both the mid lane and the bottom lane pushing out. They can't really cut the creep wave top. But do you think that they can actually just burst through tier 4s and go for the throne at this point?
It depends on the kills they get. Like, if they just get a really huge pick off, like if Smash gets caught out or something like that, then the game's just over. Like, he has no buyback for, 4.5 minutes? And I don't know. That's the big one. Then they can go for these tier 4s and everything like that. But if he can kind of sit in the back line and maybe there's some control coming out from the Bane and some good sprouts, and there's still an Omni Slash sitting here for Iwo. I don't know. Like, it's a little bit risky because what if they die? Like, I'm sure they all have buyback. All right, none of them have buybacks.
Yeah, no, they don't. Nobody has buybacks except for the Wyvern at this point, and it looks like Winter
Okay,
Wyvern's
I thought that was just the dire side with no buyback, but no. So the entire range doesn't have buyback. So,
Yeah.
I don't think you can go tier 4s in case you get wiped and Van N just trolls your base. He's like, oh, I'm just gonna go take everything. It doesn't have that much right click, I suppose, but there are many trees as you talked about before. I guess they're almost dead on bot though.
Well, the other thing though is that there's a lot of trees on bot, but a whole creep wave is about to spawn. So if he's got 9 seconds until the creep wave respawns, and once that happens, he's going to get a whole new fleet of treants to come on in. And he doesn't necessarily even need to be there for it. His refresher is going to come off of... he's not going to have another Nature's Call for another at least 36 seconds. So if he's able to stay alive through this, I think that he's in a pretty good spot. How close is he to buyback? He's actually a minute 26 away, so he can't die. If he dies, I think the game's over. That's kind of what it comes down to me, at least, is Van. But let's take a look at so far the kills and deaths and everything. Looks like Moo is sitting at 15-4. Bane has not had the best of game at 0-12.
Oh hey.
Juggernaut has.
Oh sorry, packet loss is done. We did it.
We did it.
It looks like maintenance is over. Well, I'm checking now. It was really bad, but it appears to be gone now. So hopefully we should be going soon.
Here's the hoping. Oh my goodness, what a freaking game.
Just some Tuesday night Dota, man. Update night.
Oh,
Gotta watch out for that. But, Major's throwing everybody off. Everybody's, slamming in their games now. It's like, all right, Major's over. Back to work, everybody.
Did you adjust your sleep schedule to watch the Majors when they were happening, by the way?
Slightly, because luckily I'm for far East Coast, so
okay.
I'm actually an hour ahead of Eastern time, so it was a little bit better for me. So it would be like 6 a.m. the first series started, because it was like 11 a.m. there, and so I got up at like 8, a couple days just to watch games.
Nice.
So, not too bad.
I was up every single day at I don't know, whenever they started. I basically just switched over to European time the whole time, and I'm on West Coast, so my wife was very, very upset at me for not being present during the day.
Seriously, just done.
Yeah. So then also throughout the past couple of days, it's like I've been recovering from jet lag. But you have to admit, those games were amazing. It was awesome to watch them all. And I was definitely rooting for the other South American team while they were there, Unknown. It was pretty awesome to see them do pretty well. And of course, OG at the end as well.
Yeah, that was such an exciting final day. I got up and tried to not get spoiled. So I tried to watch the active broadcast, right? So I turned on the Twitch page. And I'm trying to cover the Twitch headline with one hand,
right,
and try and navigate to the past broadcast so I can start at the beginning. But then when I did that, it still had the title as Grand Final up next, OG versus Secret.
Oh no!
And so I was so excited because I'm like, wow, they actually beat EG. That's pretty cool. But
I really wasn't expecting it. I think I'll go back to this again. What I felt like there is that it really showed that versatility is so important this patch, being able to play so many different heroes, because it felt like the draft ended up winning them the game most of the times, and I think that that was mainly off of the back of the fact that their player pool and their hero pool was so deep that they could run anything, and they didn't know how to prioritize the draft picks against them, and Secret didn't, and I think EG to a certain extent didn't also, and OG just played a really compelling and great game, but that's not the game we're talking about. We're talking about Archon versus Elite Wolves. I'm probably rambling and saying stuff that's not important, but it is what it is.
I mean, I feel like we need like a forestry degree to keep going on about this game. Honestly, there's trees, and they're pushing lanes, and then he plants more trees. Yeah. And then on the other side, the other team happens to be playing a game of Dota 2. At least they're attempting to, but they can't because someone has initiated a forestry course in the middle of the match.
Yeah, see, this is the thing, is that everybody hates the Nature's Prophet at the end of the day. Just
teammates, it's like techies, you know? Like, the only person having fun in a techies game is the guy playing techies.
Yeah, I play that hero on occasion too, but it's good. It's good stuff. I'm quite excited to see how this one ends up all working out. I think it's kind of also a point where you need to consider how the rest of your team is doing and how the beginning of the game started. If Nature's Prophet was doing, like, going straight for the Aghanims into the Octarine, I don't think that they would be able to be in as close of a situation as they are right now, because the fact that he went to it a little bit later gave Smash a little bit of time to catch back up and farm. Still, he's definitely low, currently the 5th lowest on the net worth, but it still was something where he's able to get a couple of those key items, get the Desolator up, get the Blink Dagger up. Now he has BKB, so he's a little bit more survivable. 9 seconds worth of noting on that one. And I think that probably if you ended up just going straight for the Ags Refresher Octarine on Nature's Prophet, you wouldn't be able to get any type of sort of farm up on your other heroes, and then you just straight up lose because you have like a 40k net worth Prophet and, you know, a 7k net worth TA. Oh, Go is getting called. It's happening. It's happening. All right, let's see how this fight goes. I don't know what's going on in this fight right now. All right, Whitebeard is Ghost Sceptering on up, staying alive a little bit longer. IWO separated slightly from the rest of his team, is backing up now, does have an Omni Slash if he wants to commit it, but it looks like there's the jump forward Echo Slam. Oh, there they go. Archon with the triple kill, tossing the game. Oh, geez. All right, GG ends up getting called. Very unfortunate. Looks like Elite Wolves are going to end up losing this one. It was a good game, well played. Kind of frustrating to have it end up going out that way, because I think that probably Pack-a-Loss did have something to do with it. Any thoughts on what we end up seeing in the whole series in general as Archon take it 2-0?
No, just well played. Like, they gave him the Alchemist the first game, and Moo had a dominating performance, and then they gave it back, and Moo had a dominating performance. Like, he's just all over the map. He's stunning you. He's taking down the supports was his main role. Like, he would just appear somewhere, and M-God was dead. Like, 0-13 and 8. It kind of says it right there. 1-8 and 9 from Masoku as well. It just did a lot of, you know, a good job at kind of capitalizing on what was given to them from this whole split pushing and lonely supports, not really grouping up. It did look good pretty early for E-Wolf, so I think they can take that away from them, but that Octarine daggone, I don't really think it did much other than push lanes.
Yeah. Well, a little bit unfortunate that we end up seeing Elite Wolves lose that one. Again, this is the playoffs, so they're not out of it yet. They're going to end up going on to the lower bracket, which we're going to end up seeing tomorrow, I believe, is going to be the next set of games that come on up. And they're going to be playing against the losers of the next series, which is going to be Complexity versus Digital Chaos, which should be starting in right about an hour from now. They might end up moving that up, so stay tuned. I'll give you any extra information as it comes. MotPax hopefully is going to be sticking around for the next series. Is that the case? Yes?
Oh, you know it.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm so excited for that. We got some new lineups. We got the Stay Green boys are backing at it.
Yeah, it should be a good one. I'm really excited as well. So stick around. I'm going to be playing some absolutely fantabulous music.